freedom over fame. Freedom over cycle stays the same.
We're going to do our thing, Freezie. What's going on, everybody? We are back. Thank you for tuning in to SKF Weekly. You see it? Yeah, man, we are here. We are back in the building. I'm your man, Ron. That is my brother, John. And we got my brother, Jose, holding us down on the ones.
You know how you do.
Yeah, man. How you doing today, brother? How are you?
Man, excited, man. We had a great time yesterday at Legends, meeting up with our guy, Andy, Sim, Tony Crow, Steph, Eru, State came through. Who else came through? We had everybody. There was a lot of folks out there yesterday.
So many people came through in the building. Isaiah was in the
building. Isaiah. Who else was there?
Yeah, man. Everybody. Guillermo's boy from Legion of Knicks was in the building. There was so many people in the building, man. Right. Andy brought a bunch of friends to the building.
2 Knicks chicks was there.
2 Knicks chicks was there as well. That's right. Lady and the Chef and her mom's was in the building. Yeah, man. Just over and over, man. Ajay was in the building. Ajay's a tree, man. Ajay's way taller than I thought and younger looking too, man. That's crazy. Yeah, it was a lot of people in the building yesterday. And even Julito was in the building, but we missed him. Apparently, Julito came to the spot after everybody left.
Oh, we went to the game. And
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, wild stuff.
Listen, man, it's unfortunate that we lost, but it was a good time. It was a good time. Exactly. You know what I mean? I actually brought that extra that cup that you pay extra money for. I actually got it home. I can't tell you how many times I bought this type of cup and left it wherever I was. So that was a good thing. You got free refills at home too?
I do got free refills at home. Yeah. Well, technically. Anyway, guys, listen. We got another special guest this week. This is his first time. I mean, he's family, but this is his first time being on the SKF Weekly show with us. It was about time. But before we bring him into the show, I just want to say something real quick. Okay? You guys see. You see the hat I'm wearing. Today's been a rough day. It started off really bad. I was sick. My stomach was hurting. As soon as I found out Saquon was out of here, and then he went to the Eagles, I almost threw something at my TV. But I said, you know what? Let me calm down. I felt something about Saquon. I know he was that's a little snaky, but I'm like, all right, okay. And then they let Xavier McKinney walk to Green Bay, and I'm like, oh, no, what's happening? I'm like, we going down, baby. The ship is sinking. But you know what happens? In true Giant fashion, you build it, and they will come. Brian Dable, my guy Sheehan. We go get Brian Burns, baby. Let's go.
That's big.
Brian Burns.
Yeah, that's huge.
Brian Burns. Oh, yeah, there we go.
That's big news.
Yeah. We got Brian Burns for a 2nd and a 5th pick. Some people out there don't know who Brian Burns is. He is a top 10 defensive end
and lots of
league.
Cash.
Man. We spent a lot of money on him. But whatever. Okay, all right. It's enough about the Giants. But you see it. We representing, baby. We got James Runyon. We got Singletary. Oh, my God, man. All right, let me stop. Okay.
And we
We're just
still
getting
have no
started. We're just
quarterback.
getting
But
started.
we getting
Just
there.
getting
We
started.
getting there.
let me introduce this guy and bring him in here, because he's got a lot to say about our New York Knicks, as well as I mean, he's a Bears fan. Don't hold that against him. He's still a really good people. I know. No, guys, calm down. I know you're like, yo, I was gonna tune in once I found out. No. He's cool, believe me. Anyway, welcome to the stage, our brother from another, Mr. I like to call him the hardest working man in the Knicks community. You know what I mean? Nobody
He's
knows
prime
about
time.
the pain. Yeah,
He's
definitely
prime time.
prime time.
He's prime
Nobody
time of
knows
this
about
community.
the pain. Right, exactly. Nobody knows about the
sure.
pain that we go through more than him, and he remembers it. His memory is
Right.
much better than mine. Mr. Blorange Tears himself, Uncle Freezie.
Salute.
What's happening, my brother?
What's going on, Unc?
Chilling, man. Y'all lost Saquon Barkley?
We lost him.
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, that's odd, bro. The whole running back merry-go-round thing is odd. Everybody's like cutting their or letting their running back walk to sign somebody else's veteran running back.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all got y'all running back left to sign with the Eagles, and the Eagles running back left to sign with the Bears, which is odd.
It's crazy.
I guess
it's wild stuff.
As the world turns, man. I guess.
There you go,
Aren't the
brother.
Giants
There
looking
you
at
go.
Pollard right now too?
Yeah, they're looking at a couple different people. Pollard being one of them. I'm not sure.
It's crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised because the things are moving fast and furious, man. No pun.
Yeah.
You get it. But yeah, man. Thank you for being here, brother. As usual, it's always fun to chop it up with you. It's nice to finally chop it up with you on our Monday, the flagship show.
Right.
It's dope to have you here, brother. And also, I want to just give a quick shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for being here and rocking with us.
And they on it.
Hey, man, appreciate
Holla
all
to the
y'all.
Titans.
Andios is. I know. Look at that.
Wow.
Damn, man, things is happening
Giants
quick,
got
bro.
Singletary from the Texans. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because the funny thing about that too is Saquon was thinking about going to the Texans, but of course that's how spiteful he is. He decided to go with the Eagles. Come on, man, how did we get here? Whatever. I'm done.
I was just reading that the Giants didn't offer him a contract.
No, they didn't,
Yeah.
and I guess he took that. That was. I don't think he would have been as spiteful, but I guess with the franchise tagging him last year and not even offering him a contract this year, he said, "You know what? Okay, I'm gonna play y'all twice a year. Let's go." So it is what it is. Can't be mad at him. He's that's his choice. Shout out to Andios NYK in the building. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Walter Blackman's in the building. We got Dwayne Dennis in the building. Mets, Knicks fans, let's go is in the building. We got King Imbert in the building. Wonder Woman is here. What's good, Wonder Woman? Always a pleasure. Hope you got your lasso of truth with you. JM3 is in the building. Travel Vibes is here. Our guy, Sam Granderson, is in the building. What's good, Sam? Vaughn Allen is here, a member of Still Knick fans. Appreciate you, Vaughn. Amani the Great is here from Minneapolis, as always. Mets 2128 is in the building. What's good, Mets? Hope you're doing well. I also want to give a quick shout out to our super chats. Thank you, Mr. Walter Blackman. I appreciate you for your generous super chat as always. You've always been a big supporter of the show. And shout out to my guy, Mr. 713 Gamer himself. What up, Flame? Appreciate you, bro. He says mind fizzle for Prez. Thank you, brother. All right, now back to the show. So yeah, man. It is what it is. It's New York sports. It's a lot going on. The Mets are ramping up. The Yankees are ramping up. And now football season is in its off-season swing of things. But you know what? That's not why we're here, folks. We're here because of these New York Knicks and what we did last night. Let's go. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Listen,
why we do it to ourselves?
If you think it was bad watching it on TV, it was worse in the building. Let me tell you, it was bad. Oh, it was bad. Freezie, what did you think about last night's incredible display It was an incredible display.
I think it's difficult for Jalen Brunson to carry a team with this many flaws. And not saying it's a bad team, but yeah, it's hard for one great player to carry, role players because if your role players are not on, man, it can seem like you're out there by yourself at times, So, hopefully we can get this thing figured out. Because a team scoring 79, when a team scores 79 points and you lose by 6 in today's NBA, that means your defense was great, but your offense was terrible. I mean, yeah, I think the line, so to speak, or the average, I guess is what you call it. You want to get to at least about 100 points. The century mark is what good offenses will get to on a bad night, at least. But to score 73 points, yeah, things are frustrating to say the least.
Yeah, you can't make this stuff up, man. I can't remember the last time I saw something like that. I know historically, apparently we did something like that in 2018, but I can't even remember it. And then I don't think I've ever been in the building and witnessed such a display. How'd you feel, John?
Ron, 31 points at the half, dude. 31 points at half, dude. I was like, yo, this gotta be crazy. It's like the game that we choose to go to, and this is what happens. 31 at half. I was like, this is and no one could find the rim. Everything was in and out. Every shot was like in the bucket, out, or they were completely missing the rim. It was crazy. It was like
nuts.
Bizarro world, B. I was like, no, we can't be true. And then every moment down the court, every quarter, we're like, the Sixers are trying to give us this game. They really want to give us this game. Like every moment, and then we giving it right back. It was the worst game to be a part of.
It was horrible, dude. I mean, I don't know. First off, I don't know if that's a record. I'm sure it's probably something worse out there. But the score was 15-15 to end the first quarter. I mean, like, what are we doing? Ah, man. All right. It just really atrocious. My question that I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on is, because this is not like something that happened overnight. This is the worst we've seen of this current time period, right? But Nick offense has kind of dipped. It's been dipping. And even with the guys out, say what you will, guys trying to step up. I mean, Jalen Brunson was still scoring points. Dante was chipping in with his points. Other guys were chipping in. We were still getting to a certain comfortable point, over 100 points. But we're slowly dipping. It's getting worse. It's getting harder and harder for the Knicks to find ways to score and generate offense. And in last night's game, I mean, yes, there was a lid on the rim for both teams. I think the Sixers shot 39% from the field. The Knicks shot around 32%. They both shot in the 20s from 3. It was really bad. And shout out to both teams, because not only was they both horrific on offense, they were both really putting out a lot of effort on defense. They were in people's faces and rotating quickly. So they were doing their thing on that side. It was just a bad game. But what do you think about the stagnation? Like being there live and just watching them just pass the ball to each other, but there's no real movement. I don't know if a lot of plays were run. It seemed like maybe here and there they ran a couple plays, but it was so stagnant. It almost just looked like they were just out there free flowing. What do you think, Freezie? Because I know you're one that definitely looks at Thibodeau's sets and what's going on out there. And you've commented about the stagnation on offense before and how there's not a lot of, creation. What do you think that is there anything like a quick fix that you think could be done right away without adding a player?
Tradition before this year, Tom Thibodeau ran conventional sets, I guess, trying to establish a system. This season, though, he's been very experimental with a lot of different things, a lot of different things. I think part of that has to do with personnel groupings. Part of that has to do with people's roles changing in offense.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that has to do with him being confident, gaining confidence in players he was not once confident in. Last night I saw Tibbs ran some after timeout plays, right? Some dead balls side out of bounds. I think those were excellent. We just didn't knock down shots. And generally what happens is on nights where guys can't shoot, you generally see them make up for it in transition, right? Like, long shots lead to long rebounds, lead to breakouts, lead to fast break and transition. And we were neither. We couldn't hit long shots, and we couldn't grab the other team's long misses and get out in transition and run either. And so for the most part, I think Philadelphia was really physical with us, and we couldn't create anything off of that physicality. And generally, when teams are that physical, you bring out your beast and put them in a post, and get scoring out of the post, get post scoring from, say, a guy that can maneuver down there like a Jokic, like a Randall or DeMar DeRozan, whoever is like a post-up player. And I'm not saying DeRozan's a power forward. I'm saying he's a post-up player, right? You can get guys in the post and get buckets down there and then create actions off of post play.
Mm-hmm.
But we could do neither. And Jalen Brunson this last night was probably the worst game we've ever seen Jalen Brunson play from a pure basketball perspective, because when his shot wasn't going right, there was no look in his eye to say, hey, maybe if they take away this, I'll try this. There was none of that last night. He clearly was looking for daggers last night against a Philly team that looked like they wanted to just be respectable. But I think maybe the bad offense is not just that. I think when I look at, and not to blame Jalen Brunson for everything, but their starting point guard was out, and he was being guarded by Kyle Lowry and Cameron Payne. And if you're an all-star and you can't really create with one or both of them on the floor, then maybe it's just a bad night. And guys tend to have bad night. If they play 80 games, they'll have 8 or 9 bad games. So it's not a big deal. This game against Philly, I really wanted to win this game against Philly. But it's one of those things, man. Every team is going to have a bad game. I think this is just one of them.
All right. Yeah. John, how do you feel about the Knicks offense as of late, and basically what you saw last night and how they were moving?
Yeah, man, I sort of feel the same way. I think it was just an off night, but I do think that Brunson at this point in time, he needs, he's really looking for someone to take away some of that pressure. You know what I mean? And as of right now, as we see, when DiVincenzo doesn't have it going, there really isn't much offense outside of that, right? Like, other guys are sort of hesitant to put up shots or be a focal point in the offense, and so you need OG back. We need Randall back, and those are going to be key for Brunson and for Brunson's health moving forward, because the pressure that's been placed upon him to be the sole provider of the offense is going to, there's going to be diminishing returns there, right? Like, he shouldn't be the person who we're relying on to score 40 plus every night, right? It's just it's not something that can be sustainable for the long haul. He needs to have breathers. He needs to play within the offense and have opportunities to sort of get open shots, and not be double teamed every time down the court. And I think that sort of pressure is mounting its ugly head right now. And you're starting to see like it's wearing on him a bit, to the point where he's not making the right decisions. for the most part. In yesterday's game, you've seen him pressing. He wasn't making the right reads. There were moments where he had the ball in his hands and he was over dribbling instead of swinging the ball to pressures off to the side or making the secondary hockey assist. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't seeing that yesterday. And so I just really think, like, right now at this moment in time, he's pressing. And he's just coming off an injury as well. So it's one of those things, you want to come back. You want to show that you're healthy. You want to show that you're still that guy. And I think right now he's just been overthinking his game when he's on the court. But he says all the right things, so you really can't blame him. And as a star player, you're not going to be on every night, right? There are going to be some nights where you just ain't got it, and that's okay. But we see how he'll pick it up tomorrow, right? I think we play tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
So
we play tomorrow
Sixers, so.
Against the Sixers again. Yeah, at the Garden.
What Maxey back, right? Because it's saying
Maxey backs, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Maxey's definitely back tomorrow, guys. His whole thing is just being able to clear that concussion protocol. But we talked about it while we were at the game. If you saw Maxey in warm-ups, he looked like he could play. The other day. It's just that he's still in that concussion protocol because he was. I mean, let me tell you something. If I don't know if he would have played, it could have been super ugly because he was knocking down everything in those warm-ups. I mean, I know it's just warm-ups, but it would have been Jay-Z out there. It would have. Yeah. So
maybe we got OG back, so that's a good thing. Like, what I mean?
Yeah, and we're going to talk about OG, okay. But the thing about Brunson is, I feel like I'm Freezie might be on to something when he said that might have been the worst we've seen from him.
Right.
Because he definitely looked like he was pressing last night. And the shots he was taking, like some of the shots were just like really bad shots. And you can expect that in such a frustrating game where nobody can buy a bucket, and there's just constant searching for answers. I mean, the Knicks were so frustrated last night that you could just see it on their faces, and they're trying to generate offense from defense. They were working hard, and it just wasn't happening. It wasn't falling. And then the good thing is they're not pointing fingers at each other because they all knew that they all just couldn't buy a basket. It was just wild to see because there was certain shots that Brunson took. I'm like, he hit. Oh my God! There was one shot he hit the back of the backboard. There was another shot he airballed it. I'm like, this is crazy. So
he wasn't the only one. That's the wild part. He wasn't the only one. It's like they were playing tag, hot potato. A lot of last second shots, and the shot clock is running down, and you're just trying to chuck one up. I remember DiVincenzo dropping one up there with like very little seconds left to the clock. Point when Deuce had to also chuck one up. It was like we were seeing that. It was a constant thing in yesterday's game. It's like we were waiting too long to get into our sets, and it really wasn't the defense of the 76ers. It was just us, like super perimeter with the offense, right? Like no one was attacking the basket. We were sort of very perimeter heavy. And we've seen a lot of like last second shots, shot clock against the shot clock, basically.
Yeah, it definitely, it just had that all the makings of, and there is that thing. Don't you hate when something's about to happen and people say something and you're like, oh man, I get it, but I don't expect it to happen. But it definitely was a trap game. It had all the makings and it turned out to be one. Yeah, I can't stand it.
I think it spoke to the inconsistency of the role players also. Whereas your best player can't even have an off game on off quarter, right? For instance, I think one of the major culprits, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, is basketball, and these guys are professionals. But if we say Deuce McBride's name on nights that he do well, right, and don't mention his name on nights where he's a non-factor, I think is unfair to the conversation in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guys that we have got to be support players, right? If Brunson and this, I'm trying to protect Brunson from this conversation because I don't want it to sound like we're being negative about Brunson. But I mean,
Mhm.
I understand that on some nights guys are not going to have it. Their shot may not be going, and Jalen Brunson is not the type of player, and we've known this for a year and a half. But Jalen Brunson is not the type of player that when his shot's not going, he's going to lock down the other point guard defensively or get you a triple double. That's not who Jalen Brunson is. We know Jalen
Right.
Brunson is weapon X. We know he's a scorer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on those nights where his shots are not going, we have to understanding that we'll be limited. If he's not able to score, we'll be limited. The other guys have to. Alec Burks, a veteran, Bogey, a veteran, Deuce McBride, a young veteran. They have to step up in those moments, man, and they don't have to go off for 20 or 25. But can you knock that when the game was at 4? When the game was at 4, we kept them at 4 points. We were going back and forth. They missed, we missed. They missed, we missed. They missed, we missed. They missed, we missed.
Right.
He finally came down and hit a 3 and went up 7. Right? In those scenarios where it's a 4-point game and all we need is a bucket to turn into a 1-point game, can we get somebody to at least go to the free throw line? You know what I'm
At
saying?
the very least.
Free
Right.
throw or two. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right.
or something where we can keep it in a reasonable range where Jalen Brunson doesn't feel like he has to be the hero. Because we were down by 2, and it took us so long to get back within 2 that Jalen Brunson came down on that possession. We were down by 2 and chucked up a 3, and it was an air ball off the glass. Didn't hit anything,
Right.
but he felt like I think in that moment he felt like he had to try a dagger right there just for momentum, So yeah, and so I want to mention the other guys, man, the Burks and the McBrides and the Bogies
Mm.
and the others.
Mm.
And all we needed was a basket or two here or there to just stop the downward momentum, just slow down the downward momentum where we could stay in the game, because after a while it felt like y'all saw it. The guys missed so many shots. You can tell that their confidence was low on those shots. By the time we got to the third quarter, you can tell everybody knew that their shots were off. But we
Mhm.
couldn't get anybody to get to the rim to stop the. You remember how Melo used to do that when a team would just be and Melo could get to the free throw line and then hit like free throw after free throw after free throw until everybody else got their mojo back, and then we could stay in the game.
Right.
We
Right.
didn't have that guy last night.
What's crazy is that you say that, and Burks was that guy right before he left, right before we traded him away. He was that guy. He would get key possessions, key shots, and he would also get to the line. You know what I mean, to keep it in games. So yeah, he hasn't been the same. Like, he hasn't worked that into his game yet. And you 100% right, because even yesterday's game, I was telling someone I was sitting next to specifically that like Josh Hart himself was so cold. Everything he shot was short, right? And then he wasn't going to the basket, and then he turned it on moments. There were moments where he had an opportunity and he took it, and we were like, we wanted more of that. We wanted to see more of that. Then he ended up hitting the clutch 3 in the fourth quarter, which was surprising because he was short all night. And then I forget if we were like, he brought us either close to tying it or he tied it or something like that. I don't recall, but it was sort of those moments that we wanted to see more of, but he just wasn't able to get put into that gear.
Right.
So, one of the things that bothered me last night, and so I said it. I was watching
You
the
told
game,
me.
and I felt this. Well, yeah, and then I said it. I said it when we got to Legends, right?
Right.
And shout out to Phil from the Morning Brew Sports Crew. Appreciate you guys as always. Please go support them if you haven't already. Phil said it today on the show. I missed the show live, but I saw on the replay gang. One of the things Phil brought up was the same thing I was talking about. Watching last night's game, like Freezie was pointing to and John is talking about, like no one had it, right? No one had it except one person. All night, no one could buy a basket. The only two players that were in positive when it came to offensive shooting was Jericho Sims, who we're not going to talk about for obvious reasons. You can't depend on him offensively, and Bojan Bogdanovic. Bogdanovic was 4 of 8 last night. He was shooting 50%, yet Tibbs only played him 21 or 22 minutes, something like that. And you're searching for answers, right? You know you're within reach. The whole game, we were right there with Philly, even though we both stunk it up on offense. But they just had a little bit more than us. We're right there. You telling me in a game like that, you can't make a decision to say, I'm going to go away from what I'm been doing right now and put the hands in the with a guy like Bojan who might be able to get hot, since he is statistically, just looking at the stats for tonight, he's one of our better players. The other thing about it is, he's a streaky shooter and can get hot. Bojan is the type of guy, if he don't have it early, you can kind of see where it's going, right? But if he's got a decent shot going, you never know what's going to happen. He can go from hitting, 4 of 8 to hitting 4 in a row. Like, he's that type of guy. And in this type of game, that bothered me that he wasn't out there more. Another reason why,
especially in the fourth. Especially in the fourth, Ron.
Especially in the fourth. And another reason why it bothered me too is that, okay, no one can buy a basket. It's atrocious shooting on both sides. So it's not like by doing this, you're going to give them an advantage. You couldn't say at some point, let's just go as big as we can. Let's bring in Bojan, because they kept substituting, bigs for other bigs or whatever. I'm not saying Bojan's a big, but he's bigger. And they kept taking him out and putting Jericho Sims in. How about you say, I'm going to keep Jericho Sims in there with Precious Achiuwa and Bojan, or I'm going to keep Precious in there with Hartenstein and Bojan. Let's go as big as we can from our different positions and try to see if we can get more opportunities in the paint, and at least grab more boards, more second chance opportunities for us and less for them. I don't know. I couldn't understand it in last night's game. Freezie, what do you think about the thought process behind Thibodeau's substitutions in last night's game?
I think I know where he was going with it. Right? I think I know why he didn't go with Bogey. And mind you, I'm speaking about why he made his decision, not that I agree with it. Those are two different things, right? I think the fact that Kelly Oubre was going by him like a cone the two times, where I don't know where your vantage point was, but from my vantage point, the TV was going, Philly was going left to right on the screen, right? So you were like on this side of the screen for me, right? And Kelly Oubre caught a ball, and Bogey sat up in his defensive position, and Oubre went around him like if he was not even there. And I think Tibbs saw it that one time where Oubre got the and one. He got frustrated and called the time. Something Tibbs did, right? And then it happened again. And then Tobias Harris went without scoring. And then I think Tobias Harris might wind up hitting a 3, and we didn't see Bogey anymore after that. But in time, but if I'm Tibbs, understanding that the Sixers still, even with Bogey on the floor, they're shooting 38%. Tom Thibodeau, they're shooting 38% with Bogey on the floor, and you can't score. I think sometimes you have to make that, you have to do things outside of your character, Tibbs. Right? The score looked as if no team was going to break 80. Right? No team was going to break 80 anyway. So why are you worried about defense with Bogey when Bogey is at least going to provide you with some type of offense? Right? That frustrated me, man, but it did not frustrate me as much as Deuce McBride not being able to take advantage of backup point guards for the Sixers. Right? And Deuce is my man. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus or anything like that. But in these moments right here, when Brunson don't have it, and you kind of get that little bit of time to prove yourself, you got to at least do a little something. Because for 3 years, Knicks fans, for almost 3 years, Knicks fans have been, me included, have been saying, bro, we got to give Deuce a chance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to give Deuce a chance. And now these opportunities are here. It can't be like once every 3 games, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The opportunity thing is no longer an excuse. You know, we didn't need 15 points from Deuce, but 7 points from Deuce, it would have hit like that midday cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things. It's like 7 points from Deuce would have been like that donut on the way home from work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little something. You know what I mean? And so I think yesterday was a one-off. We can throw that game in the trash. Games like that are becoming more frequent, but I don't think they are who we are as a team. Like, we saw it against Atlanta, right? We saw it against Golden State, where, you know, if our star player doesn't have it going off, you know, immediately, then the role players aren't, you know. So yeah, I dislike. I'm with all you guys on the bogey thing. They weren't gonna score 80 points anyway, Tibbs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why not leave bogey out there? But at the same time, the guys that did play, come on, man. I mean, I think Deuce played how many minutes? Deuce played 16 minutes yesterday and didn't score. Deuce McBride played 16 minutes,
man. That's tough. You know, John, one thing that Tibbs is so conventional, and I'm not going to say, like, I know some people might point to Tibbs and blame Tibbs for the loss. I know how can you blame a guy when nobody's hitting shots, but somebody might do that. I'm going to say, could he have done stuff to put us in a position to win? Maybe. I'm not going to blame him for the loss. I'm going to say maybe he could have did some things and it could have gave us a different shot at a victory when the game was so close, being that it was such a poor game for both sides. But, you know, another thing that I think is interesting is that he just is such a creature of habit, and you knew it wasn't going to happen. But in a game like that, when you know nobody can buy a basket, you're playing with teams that don't have their star players. You don't think that maybe you might try to catch a little lightning in the bottle, give this guy who's hungry, hasn't really played, you know, a chance, Shake Milton maybe? You know, maybe that would have been a time, you know, let's throw him out there and see if he can generate something, get something going when nobody has it. What you think about that, John?
Man, I think I've been living in a world with in Tibbs' world for so long. Yeah, living that vida loca. So I didn't even think about that while I was watching the game. Like, I never once thought that Shake was going to come off the bench and provide anything. You know what I mean? So, like, it's hard for me to say if he even understands the defense, because I'm not even going to say offense. Offense, you generally start in Tibbs' offense as a corner guy, right? You'll get the sort of the corner assignment, but you know, I don't know if he even understands how Tibbs wants to play defensively. You know what I mean? And so unless we see him out there, and I never once thought of Shake being of an option at this point. I think, in my opinion, I think Shake is only going to get a fair shake, is when someone gets hurt. If someone gets hurt, that's when he'll get an opportunity. I don't think he's going to get an opportunity, especially when we got OG coming back, Randall getting back, you know, and then if Mitch gets, Mitch Robinson gets back, it's a wrap. So, but yesterday's game, I didn't see it. Say that again.
I was going to say this, but this place is built for that, though. For the Shake Miltons of the world, the platform. No other city that I've been watching basketball. Look, no other team I should mention has a city that is more open to type of Shake Milton moment than the Knicks are, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
100%.
And you know what I'm saying? Because we were there when the Knicks were down like 4 guards, and they gave a training camp invitee, John Starks, the opportunity to play against Chicago because everybody was down. And then the dude entered the lineup and never left it, didn't leave the lineup for 10 years. Right? We've seen like a guard like Trey Burke come up from the G League and just come up and just get buckets from us, just be a spark for us in like down seasons. You know, this team is primed. Like no other NBA city has had more moments like this where the team is flat, somebody's hurt, another star is struggling. You just need a spark from a guy, and then the next thing you know, we're chanting King Henry as Henry Ellenson knocks down free throws against Detroit. You know what I'm saying?
Insanity. That's exactly what Linsanity was, though.
Linsanity. Yeah, right.
That's all it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was what, a
Linsanity.
2-week span? That was a 2-week span.
Right, exactly. Guy hurt, team flat, need a boost. A guy, the last guy on the bench, you're like, hey man, just come in here and give us something. And then the next thing you know, it gives you that spark of energy. We saw it with you remember Michael Beasley?
Right.
You remember when Michael
yeah,
Beasley was here? And so Michael Beasley was, and you were like, okay. Raymond Felton. Remember Raymond Felton cast off from the Charlotte Bobcats?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get a Ray Felton, he comes here, gives you a spot. Before him, you're like, oh, the point guard situation is terrible. We just need a guy just to hold it down until we figure out an answer. And then come to find out, for a small stretch, Ray Felton was the answer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think the Golden State game, we probably could have had that, man. The Atlanta game, you know, yesterday, man.
That's
the Philly
point.
game. The Philly game was
against
prime.
his old team too. That was his old. That's his
Yeah.
old team too. Like, yeah, you're right.
Everything is perfect. It's one of those things. If Shake Milton would have came out and been 2 for 5 from the floor, the Garden would have been going crazy for him, because that's one of the guys that we know we just need a little bit, somebody just to contribute just a little something to get this thing going, because we know the reinforcements are coming, right? We just need the kind of somebody to help us hold it in the road until those guys come back. And I think that would probably been the perfect opportunity. Ron, I think Ron teed us up good, man. Appreciate you, Ron. Ron teed us up good for that one.
I didn't even think about it.
I mean,
but you're right,
because it just made it, to me, it made a lot of sense because of you said it too, the fact that it's Philly and the old team thing. But I'm just also thinking about the fact that you need a spark, and you got somebody in the bench that's untapped. You brought him here for some reason, right? He's on the bench you didn't have to go out and get him. And then the other thing is, you know that the starters are coming, and once the starters get here, you ain't seeing Shake. Shake is over. You know what I mean? You hope not to see Shake. So give Shake a chance now. Like, this is the moment. There was no better moment than last night to see Shake Milton. Now, some might say, well, they got another chance tomorrow. Yeah, and he's hungry. That's what I'm saying. It was no better moment.
He got cut by Detroit. He got cut by Detroit, bro. Yeah. Can you imagine when you cut by Detroit, bro? You know, this dude, he's a veteran, probably a proud man with something to prove. You know what I'm saying? He don't even know what his NBA future is going to be like after this season. You know what I'm saying? So you give him, Tibbs could have gave that man the opportunity to go out there and just one singular bucket may have been Shake Milton gets it. We're down by 4. Shake Milton goes to the line, hits 2 free throws, cuts the lead to 2, go back to the bench. And that may have been the difference for that may have impacted the outcome a little bit. Maybe maybe it would have been different, but maybe not.
I knew he wasn't going to play him, Freezie, because like the same line of reasoning that I've just mentioned with Shake is the same line of reasoning I used to use with Tibbs for Fournier. I'm like, no one's buying a bucket. We down. We can't get no 3-point shooting. You got Fournier sitting on the bench. You can't bring him in for 5 or 6 minutes just to see if he can get hot and like just galvanize the team. He never did it. So I'm like, okay, why should I expect he's gonna put Shake in there? We paying $18 million to Fournier. He wouldn't put him in there. So,
and you know, when I saw Philly's D last night, I was thinking, you know what would be the perfect thing to bust up this defense? A big combo guard in between Brunson and Dante, where Brunson can play off the ball, take the eyes of the defense away from the ball, and have it be on Brunson, who's playing off the ball, right? Which gives you the opportunity for the players on the ball to make a difference, with Brunson as a decoy, so to speak, at least a couple of trips up and down the floor to give the defense a different look. But then for the most part, the entire night was Brunson being the focal point of the offense and the focal point of the team that's playing defense against that offense. Right. Yeah, so we couldn't diversify the look, give them something else to look at. We didn't give them that. And I'm not saying that Shake Milton is Jeremy Lin. I don't want to say that Lin sanity or Shake sanity is coming. I don't want to say that. But what I will say though is if any city in the NBA, since you've been watching, have been able to tap into those magical moments, it's the Knicks.
Yeah,
right. You don't remember. You can't recall a New Orleans Pelicans having a Jeremy Lin type event in New Orleans, or in Charlotte, or in Portland. Portland doesn't have Jeremy Lin, John Starks type moments there.
It's true.
Right.
That's true. Oh man, it's growing pains, guys. We go through it. Just it's along for the ride, man. It's always something. But it's gonna be good. Highs and lows.
These are the questions that all Knicks fans have about Tibbs in the playoffs. Is he able to adapt to the game that he sees in front of him? Is he able to adapt and utilize the players that he has in this staff, in this roster? You know what I mean? He's been given every opportunity now by the front office. They've given him the players he's asked for. This is the year. There are no more excuses. He got to take us to, at the very least, the EFC, right? Like, you have to make the championship, the Eastern Conference Championship game. Because if you don't, then, even if you go get to the second round, it's almost like, well, we're stuck here, because that's as far as you can get us. You know what I mean? Like, that's really how far. That's the, So I don't know, man. And then depends on how you lose too, right? So if we were to get to the second round of the playoffs and sort of get swept out of there, it's definitely like, we gotta move on. But I mean, I think at this point, he still has the sort of like, I think everybody on the team still really, wants to play for Tibbs. You know what I mean? I don't think he's lost, his team. I think he's still in there.
Right.
I think Brunson, is doing a great job galvanizing the team and making sure everybody's still, motivated to make a good run at it. But these are those moments, man, where you question things, right? Where you start to look back and think, man, how would this Knicks team look like if there was a different person at the helm, right? So you start to question whether he's the right guy for this team.
Yeah. Well, all we can hope is that right now he's making some questionable decisions. Like the injuries and everything has been wearing on the players that are out there. And maybe it's been wearing on him a little bit as a coach, figuring out what works and what to go with, and then realizing, hey, one day maybe I played this guy too many minutes, so in this game I'm going to change it around and play him less minutes, although you're really not adapting to the circumstances that are in front of you. So, yeah, maybe once we get guys back healthy, he'll kind of get back, because there was a point, I'm not just talking about January when we were winning, but just watching him in December, there was a point where he was coaching pretty good. He was making some sound decisions.
Yeah.
And so, maybe he'll get back to that point, and we won't all be pressing and looking at them like, desperate times. But let me shout out the chat real quick before we get into some good news, which you guys, most of you already know. I see you putting it in the chat. Shout out to the chat once again. Appreciate anybody who's just jumping in. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so. And replay gang, whoever you are out there, when you see this, thank you for being here. Shout out to Just Knicks in the building. Salute to you. Appreciate you. My guy Craig is in the building. Salute, Craig. The art man, formerly known as Steve, is in the building. Salute. What's good? Our guy, the smoothest voice in R&B in the Knicks community and otherwise, Mr. Delano Steele Jr. is in the building. What's good? John 17 is here. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here and rocking with us. Our guy Wiz BKLA is in the building. What's going on, Wiz? King Ribby is here. Salute, King Ribby. Appreciate you, brother. Parrish Doug is in the building. What's good, Parrish? Good to see you as always. Bricks Nation is here. Salute. Dunross Gallman is in the building. What's good? Appreciate you, bro. Fly God, aka C_Mac in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. All right, man. Well, thank you, everybody. And those who are tuned in that may not be in the chat, appreciate you guys as well. And I want to give a special shout out. Thank you to the art man formerly known as Steve for the generous super chat. He said Josh Hart was turning the ball over like chicken nuggets in the toast oven. Yeah, it was. Everybody was pressing. It was wild, man. They were trying to do way too much out there last night.
Yeah. And shout out to everybody watching on X, right? Because we're on X as well. So those of you who
we are on X as well tonight. So appreciate you guys tuning in. We definitely appreciate you rocking with us and supporting the show. We got looks like we got 18 people tuning in on X. So thank you. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate you. So we do know finally it looks like it's confirmed that it could be tomorrow. Most likely it's going to be tomorrow, but OG's coming back, y'all. So finally we get some good news. OG's coming back. We can't wait. I will say, Knicks fans, you guys should know this because you're all smart. Don't expect too much tomorrow. I expect he might still be great. He might be the difference maker with his defense, and maybe his shot might fall. But I wouldn't expect his shot to fall after being out, so many games. A little rust there. But, just his presence alone and his activeness on the defensive side and just his basketball IQ with cutting to the basket and opening up lanes. He starts cutting. Other guys start cutting. Better ball movement. That's all needed, and that's what OG brings. So I can't wait. How are you feeling about OG possibly playing tomorrow, most likely playing tomorrow, Freezie?
I'm excited. I'm excited about, for one, seeing the emergency room door being closed and healthy guys coming out. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about the injury bug going on vacation and letting healthy players come back. Right. So I'm excited about OG in terms of that, because I panicked when OG Anunoby got hurt had surgery on the trade deadline. I was immediately panicking, thinking the season was over, and people told me not to panic. They were like, "Hey, everybody's going to come back, and we might be the 7th seed, or we might be the 8th seed, or whatever we are, but we could still make a run at a championship." So I was comforted during the Randall, Mitch, OG absence. People basically told me, like, "Man, relax, man. It's not how you start, it's how you finish," or something like that. People were telling me, basically, to sum it up, right? Like, don't worry about the injuries. Everybody will come back once we get healthy. We'll be a dynamo, and so I'm excited that we are on the verge of that becoming a reality. Right? That's one thing. The second thing is OG Anunoby is a dynamic player that everything he does not show up in a stat sheet, right? OG Anunoby is what you call impactful, right? So he may not score 40 points, right? He may not knock down 10 threes. His defense is elite in a Tom Thibodeau system. We've seen that firsthand.
All right.
So OG Anunoby is impactful, and I think his impact is definitely going to impact the game, but I think it's going to impact others. Whereas others who were in certain roles, now they move out of the big boy chair and move closer to the role that they were brought here to be in.
Right.
And then now you see them being more comfortable in their roles, right? Like you won't have to see Bogey guarding Oubre or Josh Hart guarding Oubre, right? You won't have to see Bogey guarding Tobias Harris, not intentionally anyway, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll see people slide down and get back to the roles that they were brought here for. And I think by us having that, I think you'll see a better overall product.
I agree with that. I'm excited for that. I definitely want it's the trickle down is once we get all of these guys back, or at least hope to get all these guys back. That's when guys start to fall into the roles that they should be in. We're not hoping for them to be saviors or be big time contributors when they're really small time contributors. I can't wait till we get to that point. Shout out to the chat once again. Shout out to Brooklyn Butch. Appreciate you for being here. Craig had a question before I get over to John. I saw real quick. He said, Ron, how did OG's shooting look in the warm-ups? I will tell you, in warm-ups, OG looked pretty good, man. He looked like if we didn't know he was hurt, you wouldn't think he was hurt. He looked pretty good. He had the thing, he keeps that thing on his right arm, but he looked fine. He was shooting, he was knocking down the shot. Pretty regular, like what you would expect. I mean, he wasn't Maxi hot, but he was looking good. He was looking good because Maxi was knocking down everything, y'all. I'm just
everything,
anyway,
right?
But,
and it was simple, like easy work, right? Like it was like he wasn't even trying.
Easy. What this dude is this? Let me tell you something. Just a side note: Tyrese Maxey is going to be one of them ones. There's a lot of older guys starting to transition out. Maxey is definitely going to be one of them ones. Watch. But anyway, John, what's your thoughts on OG? Anything? Are you expecting anything from him tomorrow?
Hustle. I mean, he's gonna give us what what I expect him to do is fill up space. You know what I mean? Like just fill up space. Places he's not gonna. I expect him to be the impact that he is on the defensive side first and foremost, because that's what he do. And then offensively, whatever he can give us, he's gonna try. You know what I mean? Like if he's on, then he's gonna give us the points that we need. If he's off, he's still gonna give us what we need on the defensive side. You know what I mean? But I don't have a reasoning to believe that if he gets enough open shots from those corners, that he's not going to knock down at least 3 to 4 of those shots. It's just depending on how often they're going to allow him to shoot the rock.
Right.
I think it's key. The key is going to be Brunson and how Brunson's able to sort of like get off from the ball, like being able to like move that ball and not be so ball dominant in tomorrow's game. And I think if we do that, then I think we're going to be in a better place. And like I said, I think OG is going to be, exactly what we expect. Him to come back, fill the void on the defensive side. Be that defensive stopper when we need to stop, and then get that ball out in transition and run. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I mean, both of you guys, I think, nailed it with expectations for what OG will be doing and how that affects the rest of the team, because it's the trickle down effect, right? Any help we get, it just makes us that much better.
May I add one more thing to it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
So the other thing I'm excited about is that our players' minutes distribution will go down. So you won't see guys playing like 44 minutes, 46 minutes. With Randall out, I'm sure they'll still play somewhere in the neighborhood of like 38 minutes, maybe 39 minutes, depending on the situation of the game, maybe 40 minutes, depending on. But if it's a easy flow of the game back and forth, Knicks win by 7, I think you could easily see Dante's minutes go down to around 32, 33. Hart will probably still play a lot of minutes, but it'll probably go down to like 37, 38 minutes. And I'm honestly, the thing I'm looking forward to most from a selfish standpoint, no Knicks, no Uncle Freezie, the YouTube guy. If it's just me, what I'm looking forward to is Precious Achua and OG Anunoby on the floor defending at the same time, right? Two jumbo wings defending at the same time. I think that's going to be awesome for us to see. I think it's going to remind us of 90s Knicks and over these next couple of weeks or week and a half without Randall. I think we'll see that, and I think we're going to absolutely. I know I've been looking forward to it, right? Since I saw when the Orlando game when Precious Achua in theory locked down Paolo Banchero. All Paolo's shots were not on Precious, right? All the shots he took were not on Precious. And then you have to concede Paolo is a very talented player. He was the number 1 pick in his draft for a reason. So he dunked on Precious, and he hit a crazy 3 on Precious. But for the most part, everything else, I personally think Precious won the matchup, even though Paolo scored more points, and some of those points a few of those points he scored on other people, right? But I think Precious won that matchup against Paolo Banchero. So I'll be excited to see what a Tom Thibodeau defense looks like with Precious, with OG on the floor.
Hartenstein right behind them. Yeah.
Right. And Hartenstein will, and I know this sounds nuts, right? But Hartenstein not using his mobility as much, like giving Hartenstein less area to cover by having Precious and OG on the floor excites me. I think you're going to see. I think Hartenstein is going to be the direct benefactor of OG coming back, because I think you're going to see Hartenstein's rebounds skyrocket because he won't have to be pulled away from the rim, because now teams won't scheme to pull the center away from the rim, because Precious can guard 2s, 3s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So the built-in advantage. For instance, when Randall's on the floor, Randall's going to guard 4s. Right. When Precious is on the floor, he's going to guard 3s, 4s, 5s. And some 3s. And when he's motivated, he'll guard anybody. When he's motivated, he'll guard anybody. But for the most part, what we're asking as our daily operation, Randall's going to guard 4s and close out on corner 3s. That's it, right?
Yeah.
But Precious and OG together, I think it could be dynamic, man.
I agree with you, brother. I think especially now more than ever, because we saw in January when we went on that streak, OG's impact affected everybody. Like everybody been in front, and we saw Hartenstein's defense the best we've seen it. His rebounding was the highest we've seen it. Like the trickle down thing definitely. But the thing is, we were still getting pieces of Precious. Like he hadn't gotten comfortable yet. Precious is comfortable.
Now he's comfortable.
Now this could be even more dynamic. And that's what got people salivating, because if we could just get guys healthy, we can see the potential. And we're not even talking about what Mitch could do having an OG out there and a Precious out there with him. Like, I mean,
Mitch in
whatever,
2 weeks,
man.
right?
Listen, I see that happening. I see that happening. I see it on the 23rd or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine OG, Precious, and Mitch on the floor at the same time?
Crazy,
man.
But real quick, read off what Vaughn Allen. I'm gonna read off what Vaughn Allen had put up there.
Go ahead, brother.
He puts, Randall just posted a video of him putting up shots in the gym, and it's captioned, "It is what you think it is. Demon time." Do we get OG?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Here tomorrow, bro.
Don't do it. Don't get me all excited and hot and bothered. Don't do it.
It will be lit if it happens tomorrow. What?
Right.
That would be crazy. That
Bro,
would be. Well, listen.
Sold out yesterday's game. Like I was like, yo, every seat was packed.
I can't imagine
crazy.
people sitting in those seats on the garden floor. Like, what? Why am I here? Like, I'm sure
Right.
we was laughing last night because you know how they have Celebrity Row. Quavo was there last night. You know, Quavo, he ain't no Knicks fan or a Sixer fan. He's an Atlanta fan. I'm like, what is he doing here? He was on his phone the whole game. That's how bad that game was. It was just, but it is what it is.
He must have somebody. He must be married to somebody from New York or something.
Maybe something must be
Possibly,
going on.
right.
Yeah, shout out to
or know somebody from New York.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But you know, sometimes when it's appearance and it's an appearance, you're gonna take the appearance. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Corey Lee, one half of the 718 boys in the building on the Blorange Tears network.
Salute,
you know how it is.
salute.
Gotta support, man. Gotta support, brother. Appreciate you. Drip Moore, the preferred barber of still Knicks fans and the Knicks community, is in the building. Let's go. Drip Moore is in the building.
Oh, it's
folks.
hilarious. You go Quavo.
Yeah.
Now, Max. Quavo knows Max.
Is the fourth Migos. Shout out to New Knicks City and Squad. You're what's good. Appreciate you. So I also want to say, guys, listen, by all means, thank you for supporting the show. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so. You also listen, if you want, no one's holding you to it. But if you want to support the show, by all means, super chats are great, but you could also buy us a coffee. The link is in the chat. If you want to support the show in that fashion, please feel free to buy us a cup of coffee. We appreciate it.
Hey, do you have an app where you can put that? Can you put that on screen? Is there a way I can do it with my phone?
Not in vMix.
Okay.
Jose would have to do that behind the scenes, but yeah, we can't do it personally. It's different setup over here.
Okay.
But thanks for asking, Freezie, because it's a good question.
And Ron drinks a lot of coffee.
I do drink a lot of coffee. You guys already know. You already know.
That iced coffee is Saturday mornings.
The congestion levels at an all-time high. You know what I mean? Like I got to do what I got to do. But I wanted to. Oh,
shout out to Brooklyn.
Does he drink more than me, John?
No way, Jose. There's no way.
Oh, I
bro.
see what you did there.
Jose
drinks the coffee like that?
That's like every other minute. Like, I got another coffee? God. Bro.
Damn. Well, we're going to get to Jose in a little bit too, by the way. But I also wanted to say shout out to Will Salkin and Louisiana Knicks. They're not here tonight, but I expect to see them possibly on next Saturday's show, and I'll give them a proper shout out. But last Saturday's show, I was very busy and caught up in different things, and I did not notice that they bought us a cup of coffee. So shout out to Will Salkin and Louisiana Knicks. Appreciate you guys, man. So that being said, guys, this is the SKF Weekly Show. We do a quick recap. We've already pretty much talked about the Knicks and how things panned out. So what I want to do is just give a quick recap about the games that took place this week. Just tell y'all, hey, this is the score. This is what, blah, blah, blah. And we'll move on and just get to our prediction stuff. But so if you have been living under a rock, maybe you've been really busy at work, haven't had a chance to go out there and find out what's happening, haven't really got on your phone. The Knicks had 3 games so far this week. And it started off, and let's just say, call a spade a spade. This was not a good week for the Knicks, okay? There was a lot of winnable games this week. We really should have won all 3 games. We wound up only getting one of these. It started off with the Atlanta Hawks. And we caught that L, folks. The New York Knicks lost to the Atlanta Hawks 116-100. I don't want to say it, the shooting. We had a better game overall, but we couldn't get a good semblance of a consistent offense that was really going. But it was decent enough that we could have won. But the defensive effort, or at least being able to stop guys, we could not stop guys throughout the game. There's so many of those Atlanta Hawks players that hit big shots. Jalen Johnson, that young rookie guy, man, he's good, and he's going to be great in this league. He was hitting big shots in people's faces. It wasn't just Bogdanovich, because we already know Bogdanovich's defense is kind of suspect, but he was hitting shots in everybody's face. Whoever was guarding him, when they needed a big shot down the stretch, he was hitting. And DeJounte Murray obviously staked his claim too.
Down the stretch.
This is what you guys could. Yeah, this is what you guys could have had. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? We deal with it. But real quick, that was that. I'm not going to get too crazy with that. That was the game. Atlanta beat us 116-100.
It was
then there was
116 wasn't 100. That wasn't indicative of that game, though.
Oh no,
they jumped out on us early, and we played them even, or we probably played 80% of that game better than Atlanta. But since they jumped out on us like 20-7 or 24-7 or something crazy like that, we just couldn't catch up with our role players, bro.
And we tied it in the third, right?
Yeah, we came all the way back.
Yeah.
We ran out of gas.
And,
we just did.
And really, that's how funny things work. Sometimes it does. Basketball, sports in general, just doesn't make sense. But if we had Jalen Brunson in the Atlanta game, we probably would have won. We probably would have won the game because we needed a little bit of extra offensive firepower that night. Right. We don't know how he would have played, but you can assume that he would have added something to the team, and that could have made all the difference. Because the difference for Atlanta, like I said, wasn't just Jalen Johnson, DeJounte Murray too. When Atlanta really needed a big shot, those two guys were getting it. They were hitting it. There was another person too. But
Hunter hit
big shots. They were hitting big shots.
Killed us. They small forwards killed us, bro.
Oh yeah. Sadiq Bey had 17, something like that.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey had 17, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they all sort of like, had their solid games against us. But again, we were tied for that. Like you said, I think Freezie, you said it exactly correct. Like we were right there. We played better than they did for most of that game, but we fell behind so quick.
We just
we were down 20.
Yeah. We
First
reeled them
quarter.
all the way in. Yeah, we reeled them all the way in. And
well, that's what happens. Well, when it happened with teams that play from behind at certain points, the energy you have to expound on to get back into the game, and then when you finally get to that, do you have enough to get over the hump? And that's what plagues teams. It gets tough. But then we got to the game that I'm most excited about, and it's not just because the Knicks won. This was a game like I circled, like I wanted this one. The Knicks wound up playing the Orlando Magic, folks, and they wound up beating up on the Magic, winning 98-74. It was a statement game in my eyes. I believe a lot of people have already talked about it and agree. If you remember, just, for those who may have been living on the rock and don't know, the last time we played Orlando, we were in Orlando, basically our third or fourth other building that we got. You know how New York New York brings the fans out.
How we get down, right?
Yeah, and they, the Knicks fans were hot and heavy in Orlando too, and the Magic weren't having it. They didn't like it, and when they started to get their stuff going, and Paolo was hitting on all cylinders, they were giving it to us, man, and they were giving it to the fans too, waving them off.
They were throwing lobs late. They were, how your team out of respect, they'll like walk it up and just dribble, and they were throwing lobs on us late, bro. They really want to stick it to us, man.
Yeah, that's just they did. And you know what? I was so happy, and I've said it. I was just so happy. Because I think sometimes you look at your team and you're like, I wonder if my team is thinking the way I'm thinking. Like, do you see this? And this particular case, I can almost 100% say I believe the Knicks saw everything that was happening, that Orlando was doing, and they took it to heart. And they knew that the next time we play Orlando, we are going to show them a little something. And they did just that, holding them to 74 points. It's a beautiful thing. It doesn't look as good as now that we were held to 73 points, but it would look great at the time. It looked great at the time.
It's a fact.
So, yeah, man. Shout out to the Knicks for doing the damn thing in that game, at least. And I just want to ask you guys, you gentlemen, about
Freezie spoke to it, though. Freezie spoke to it. That's Precious. That was the statement game for Precious.
Right. Precious was fantastic in the game. He had 5 blocks, I believe. Yeah, I mean, he was everywhere, and he shows like
scoring the ball too. He was going to the basket. He was giving them a little something offensively too.
He was doing whatever we needed.
We kept Franz Wagner to 13-4. Like Franz
he struggled.
He didn't do anything. You know what I mean? And he's a big part of their team and their offense.
So let me ask you this, Freezie. How do you feel? I mean, you could obviously talk to the game itself, but how did you feel about the fact of watching the Knicks make a statement game or a statement effort against the opponent?
I'm up and down on that.
Hmm.
Right. Because, and the reason why I am is because if the Orlando game was important for us to come out and make a statement, why wasn't it important for us to come out against Atlanta the game before that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about what we did to Orlando, but I'm also in a mindset that I understand that we're injured, and I think we should not think about it like playoff mode, but when you have injuries, you should be, and this is my opinion based off of what I've seen historically. When you're this injured, either you scrap the season totally, right? Anybody that's hurt, just have them sit out for the injury and have them get completely healthy and then hold them out for the year. Either you do that or you do it one game at a time. If you're playing Atlanta, you're not thinking about Orlando, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing Atlanta, you're solely thinking about how you beat the Atlanta Hawks, right? Nothing any further. Is day to day. Every day is its own journey, right? Like, don't focus on, who's up and down in the standings and who had a hot night last night scoring. It's all about what can Josh and Dante and AB and Deuce and Precious and everything. What can they do together as a unit to just make sure that we win today, right? That we, what I'm saying, that we don't come out flat, right? That we just come out and just give our best effort every opportunity. And so while I'm excited about the Orlando game, right? And I'm still excited about the Cleveland game, right? Remember Cleveland?
Yeah.
Brunson only played 1 minute in that game,
win.
and we still won.
Right.
I'm still excited about the
Very
Cleveland
good
game. But the thing about that is, how can I be excited about the Cleveland game and then we lost to Golden State with Brunson? You know what I'm saying? So how do you beat the 2 seed in the East and then lose to Atlanta, right? And then bounce back and beat the 4 seed, or at the time I think they may have been the 4 seed. So we beat the 4 seed in the East and then we come back out and then lose to the Sixers. You know what I'm saying? You see how it's like, to me, it's that emotional roller coaster of you get up for the good teams and then the other teams you may be like, well, Randall's not here. That's an excuse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I'm saying, to me, I'm not saying that others should feel that way. This is how I feel about it. And I don't want to sway anyone with my comments. What I'm saying is I'm coming to grips with a situation where, so we lost to Philly the other night, right? And then we play them tomorrow, right? Are we going to get up for that game, or are we going to use another excuse, right? Like, for instance, if OG Anunoby comes back tomorrow, then I feel like we'll be up and excited for that game because, yay, OG's back, right? But in theory, we should have been getting up for Philadelphia anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then plus, I had numerous people on the show that when you asked them before this stretch of games, they were confident we'd lose to Orlando and that we'd sweep Philadelphia. Right? But now we've beaten Orlando and we lost to Philly. Now people don't know what to think. And so I know there's a lot of brain carnival stuff going on, maybe thinking too much ahead of stuff. But in theory, or not in theory, for me, how I feel as if we should just put 1 foot in front of the other, right? Just give our best effort. Don't come out flat. Make Knicks fans proud, man. Just give your best effort. And John, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. think about this during this stretch where guys are out. When's the last time you saw a Knick dive for a loose ball? Legit on the floor.
Well, we were at yesterday's game, so we were able to catch that. I think Hartenstein did that, but it was a ball that was going out of bounds. I don't know if.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say the last one I saw was against Orlando when Hartenstein was running into the corner to dive for a loose ball. And it looked like he levitated a little bit, but he didn't. And he got up laughing because he thought he was going to levitate, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He thought he had hops, but he didn't. You know, but yeah, so that's where I'm with it, man. And I understand we're hurt, but
right. Well, I mean, unfortunately, you know, what takes away from it shouldn't, but it will. You know, it's just life. What takes away from some of this maximum effort with these Knicks is how tired they are, because they are tired. They are playing a lot of minutes. They are over, and especially, you know, the guys on the team who are our best hustlers are the ones playing the most minutes, like Dante and Hart. Like Josh Hart is everywhere when he's rested and can just, he's everywhere. So it just we really need to get these guys back. And we are still the Jekyll and Hyde Knicks. That hasn't changed. We're just different. You know, in the past, we were the Jekyll and Hyde Knicks because we just wouldn't show up to games. Like we just take games off. We'd have leads and then we'd have leads. And I talked about it on Saturday because it's not that far removed when we would have leads and blow it in the third quarter or go into the fourth quarter up 20 and blow those leads. But that was different. It was where our mindset was and our effort. Now we've got the mindset and the effort, but we've turned into this different beast. We're a jump shooting team. So if our jump shot ain't working, now we out of games. Like we got to we need to learn how to be a more well-rounded team, especially going into the playoffs. We can't rely. We are like this Thibodeau offense this year has revolved around the three and ball movement. We are definitely moving the ball, passing the ball to each other. But we are not going, if it's not Julius Randle or the addition of OG Anunoby, since he started coming here, he's been cutting. Guys are not getting to the basket. We need to get to the even though we got points in the paint, it's just here and there. And we need to do more of it, especially in the terms of not having good playmakers out there. Just somehow we got to get to the rim. We got to make it easier for ourselves. But we'll see. Anyway, last but not least, the game we've already kind of touched on multiple times already, but just for the point of emphasis, you know, if you guys don't know, last night the New York Knicks played the Philadelphia 76ers. And
why'd you put that guy on? Why'd you put him on the page, bro?
You know why I put him. That's right. Read the room, baby. Paul Reed was giving us the business, yo.
This dude shot was horrific looking, and he knocked two of them down in key situations. Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this dude, his first free throw shot I was like, what is that? And then this dude's knocking down threes. Come on.
There was a moment in the game when I'm like, yeah, let him shoot. And then it went in. I was like, you got to be shitting me, B. Like, how you got to be shitting me? It was like, there's no reason why this guy should be even shooting that ball from that far. And he knocked him down. I was livid.
Yeah, it was disgusting, folks. The New York Knicks lost 79-73. Imagine losing a game to a team that scores 79 points. It's horrific. It's abysmal. The Illuminaries were not illuminating at the Garden, folks. It was bad business. I can't imagine, you know, being at the Garden, you don't get to hear the announcers. I don't get to hear what Clyde was saying, but I'm sure Clyde was going crazy. Like,
right.
Well, it is what it is, man. But there's nothing to talk about. We don't even have a BBG, no big bucket getter tonight because you can't even find one from that game. That's how bad it was, folks. There was none. There's no big bucket getter. We couldn't find a big bucket getter. So, yeah, it is what it is, guys. But I mean, like we already talked about, help is on the way. You know, OG's on the way. Julius is teasing us right now. But as I said the other day, Julius has been putting more and more tweets out and more little cryptic things. He is chomping at the bit. He wants to be out there on the court so bad. So hopefully it's soon,
Right.
but hopefully if he comes out there, he can add some value to the team and he's not rushing the process and just going to put himself in a position where he is a placeholder of some sort. I mean, the decoys work, I guess, when in certain spans, but when the defense, can key and say, "Oh no, he's not doing nothing." Oh, just tap him on the shoulder. I hope he's okay, man. I just hope he's good enough that he could take a little bit of contact and help us. Because if he can't take any contact, it just I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know, guys. Well,
Yeah.
anyway,
It's funny, right? How when guys love something, they take it for granted. And then when it's taken away from them, they realize how much they love it. I think upon Randall's return, I think y'all are gonna really see how much Randall loves being a New York Knick, bro.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what it is. Like if you've ever loved something and have lost it or almost lost it, you realize how much you love it and can't live without it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You're like, you know what? If I ever get this thing back to normal, I'm going, And I think that's where Randall is. I think that's where Mitch is also. I think Mitchell Robinson loves being a Knick, bro. And the fact that he's out again, bro, is just like it has nothing to do with his no love for the Knicks. I think that man loves basketball, bro. And I think that man gonna play his heart out for us once he get back. Because once you get it taken away from you for that long, and like I saw it on the roommates podcast, bro. Somebody please add some seasoning to the roommates podcast, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, with Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson. Somebody add some salt and pepper, some cayenne pepper, something to. But anyways, Dante DiVincenzo was talking about how the championship run in Milwaukee, how he started every game, and then he got injured, and then they went on to the championship without him, and that feeling of missing out. I think, and you can't ever get that time back because you just can't play. Right. I think Mitch and Randall are gonna really show the human element of being a New York Knick, right? Not saying that they haven't loved it in the past. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is you appreciate things more when they're on the verge of being taken away from you.
Right.
Yeah.
And despite what the naysayers say, we're not in this position if Randall isn't here with us and not taking a salary cut to be here. Like, we're not in this position. You know what I mean? So, he's shown and proved that he's wanted to be here from the very beginning, and he wants to win in New York. So shout outs to Julius for that, man. And looking forward to him getting back, man. Word.
Can't wait, bro. I mean, listen, some people definitely do take him for granted. I mean, they put up the stat the other day. It's all over the place. Like, he's been out a little over a month, and he's still top 10 in a bunch of statistical categories from his position. Like,
Right.
Julius
He's an
balls,
all-star.
man. He's
Hey,
balling, man.
Right.
So, Freezie, it's about that time where we get into the last segment of the show.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey,
what's going on,
what's
Jose?
happening, Jose?
Welcome back.
Thank you. I mean, the fans already know you guys only pay me for like 5 minutes each show, so here's my 5 minutes right now,
Hey, man.
But here we go. Let's get our predictions right now. So we actually got 3 games coming up. Technically, we would have predicted the Monday night game, but the Monday night game will be starting at 10 o'clock our time. So you guys can actually make that prediction next week during the show.
Interesting.
And I threw a little curveball there already because, both of you, I don't know who started. I think it was John because, John is John.
You know how I do.
allow the guests to make the prediction. And the guests both predicted for both of you guys 3 wins. And out of those 3 wins, only one of them
We got
was
one.
correct. So, I know you guys were talking. You guys were able to allow this platform to be a place where you're able to vent. I know there's a lot of people in the chat who are using this platform to vent. You know, Ron, you had to keep yourself off the ledge this past Saturday. So there's a lot of things that occur.
True.
But I know that you guys are still Knicks fans. That's why you do this. That's why you love doing this. So with that being said, how about you guys just leave it with the same predictions? 3 wins coming up.
I like that.
Decide.
I'm fine with that. No, there's nothing to decide.
Right.
Done. Lock it in.
Done.
As Freezie would say, BIM.
Bim.
Cool. See, this makes my life easier because I knew you guys were going to say yes. And if you guys said no, I still would have just left it with the win. So with that being said, guys, it's always a pleasure being with y'all up here. I'm out of here. Peace.
Appreciate you, Jose. Thank you as always, my brother. Thank you as always. Well, listen, man. See? This guy. I'm telling you. That's why he only gets 5 minutes. Anyway, no. I didn't say that.
You do it every time. He has the mute button. You know he can mute you. You know he can mute you. And here you go. Freezie, he don't ever learn. He don't ever learn. This guy.
Yeah.
See, I think
Yeah.
he
You don't
forgets
mess with
that
the
not only
producers.
Can I mute him, but I can also remove him from the screen.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh man.
But I'm feeling nice
See?
today, so I'm going to bring him back up.
Nice. Give
Yeah,
him
man.
his.
Bring him back
Just
up
bring
just
him
as
back.
audio, not video.
Oh, wow.
Just
Look at this guy.
wow.
I
Look at
tell you,
that.
man,
Look at-
it's tough, man. People don't know what I go through. Like every day, I'm like, how did I get here? I don't it's tough.
See,
Anyway.
you see, you want to start trouble. See,
No,
Give
I
them-
knew it.
well, they
John,
got too
you
much
don't understand.
power, bro.
I knew it. I know we should have never done that. They should have never given you guys all this. Now, well, I don't know why I did it, brother. I feel like I'm Dave Chappelle show, like darkness. They should have never gave y'all money. Like I never should have done it. But it is what it is. All right. So I want to just shout out once again to the chat. Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all. Y'all been fantastic. I see y'all been loading up a lot of stuff in the chat. I apologize. We can't get to everything. Obviously, we were in great conversation here, but don't think your questions and stuff won't be noticed because I like to go through and read everything after the show and watch the show again. That's what I do. Don't mind me. I'm neurotic about it. But shout out to everybody. If there's anybody who came in that we didn't shout out before, thank you for being here. Glamour Knicks, I see you. What's up, girl? Good to see you.
Right, Paris Duggan.
But I just want, Paris Duggan, I definitely said what's up to him. But I just want to say thank you once again to all of y'all. Please smash that like button on your way out if you haven't already done so. But I also want to thank our special guest once again. You know, he's family. You know, you guys know how it's Freezie, man. Come on, man. But it's the first time Freezie's on the SKF weekly show. So
Appreciate you. Jumping on with us.
Thank you for having me, man. I feel like Boys to Men in their prime right now. That's what I feel like right now. But I'm so honored.
Well, you know what? That's why, and it's funny you say that, Freezie, because that's why I wanted to get you on the show, because I'm like, we can't keep prolonging this. Let's not put it off anymore. Let's not wait till the water runs dry. Let's get Freezie on this show right now.
You see what he did there? See what he did there?
And salute to the chat and everything and everybody too. I appreciate the chat with all their opinions and takes and thoughts and everything. It's a very, very, very important part of what we do. Appreciate everybody's support. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate the fact that no one person really, really thinks that their opinion is the only one that matters. Sharing opinions and having dialogue is important in public spaces and domains like this one. So salute to the chat, man, and y'all keep doing y'all thing. Keep putting your opinions and stuff in the chat, and like Ron said, he's gonna read them all. So man, just keep doing y'all thing, and we appreciate y'all.
Well said.
Yeah, man. Once again, thank you once again. Can't say it enough. And shout out to everybody on X. Thank you guys for tuning in, being here and rocking with us. Got 31 people on X right now. Appreciate y'all, man. This is our first time. It's right. This is our first time airing this show on X, streaming it simultaneously with YouTube. So appreciate you guys.
Man.
Once again, and looking forward to having you guys next Monday with us. And don't forget Saturdays too for Know the Ledge. But John, final words, my brother.
Man, I really want to just leave the stage for Uncle Freezie. You know what I mean? Yeah. You've done so much for us, and you've always looked out and always been a confidant of us and been sort of like helping us along the way. We appreciate you. So let the people know what you got going on, where to find you, how to stay tuned, how to get you on all the other platforms, you know what I mean? So we could keep highlighting what you've done over these last few years and the Knicks
so
podcast.
This year. And thank you for giving me the runway to say this. I'm hoping that these final words won't be famous, right? But this year is kind of like a different year for me, because I'm embarking on 2 journeys at once. Starting my own business and going back to school at the same time. And so most people will do one or the other, but I found I had to do both at the same time. So my schedule is going to be kind of intermittent a little bit. I'm going to try to stick to the schedule and things of that sort. But one thing I did want to do though, while I'm here, I want to thank everybody that goes to the games. You guys that see me and walk up to me at the games and stuff. And some of y'all are crazy. Because I've been in places where y'all are legit yelling across a concourse with thousands of people on it, or coming up the escalator and you're seeing me and you're yelling, "Hey, it's Uncle Freezie, let's go Knicks!" So I want to thank everybody. Thank y'all for all the support, man, over the years and all that stuff, man. It's an honor to be amongst you in a capacity of just being one of y'all. And that's important to me, right? Not better. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not somebody, right? Just the fact that I'm one of y'all, and y'all shout me out, or when I'm in Hudson's in Atlanta, y'all buy my mozzarella sticks, or when I'm in Orlando, y'all buying my tacos at the taco stand, or whatever it is, right? Listen, man, I appreciate everything from all the Knicks fans everywhere across the country, and y'all are everywhere. Every place I've been to watch the Knicks, people will see, either they see me as a Knicks fan, recognize me as a Knicks fan, or recognize me from having a YouTube show where we just yell at each other all night long with negative negative comments and stuff. However you recognize me, man. Thank y'all for allowing me to be a part of the community and rock with y'all and put stuff out there and enjoy these spaces with y'all, because there's nothing like standing at the right. I think I said this before, and I'll be short, bro. But there's nothing like being in Memphis, Tennessee, right, in the parking lot, or trying to get to the parking garage. Trying to get to your car and all that stuff, and people are holding you up, talking about 2 plays that happened in the second quarter that were pivotal in the game, and you have to use the bathroom. There's nothing like that, Knicks fan. So thank y'all, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, Ron.
Nah, no doubt, man. We appreciate you, brother. And you know what? Oh, man, I wanted to wrap up right after that, but now I got to stall a little bit because this is important to me. When we can do it, and we need to do it. So if you could bear with me, Jose, I know you hear me. I am sending you something to the drive. Please put this up when you get it. I just want to show some love and support because they are showing love and support to us. So if we can do it real quick right before we get out of here,
That's
by
super
all
dope.
means. Yeah.
That's
So
why you that guy, Ron. Always
hey,
thinking
man,
about
you
this.
know what I mean?
Appreciate
You
that.
know what I mean? Well, especially when they're thinking of us. I mean, I can't not think of them when they're thinking of us. I'm like,
No
hey,
doubt.
you
No
come
doubt.
on now.
No
You know
doubt.
what I
Right.
mean?
No doubt.
Here we go. So, and while I'm doing that, let me just say this. I appreciate you guys once again in the chat, everybody who's tuned in on X and on YouTube. But I also want to shout out my guys, man. Shout out to my brother John. You know what I mean? We've embarked on this journey. Sometimes it's not easy. Real life stuff happens. You know, we've done so much together. Sometimes he can make it, sometimes he can't make it, but we hold each other down. There's been times where I haven't been here and he's had to hold it down, but we continue to move
Maybe like
forward and keep
once.
doing our thing. Hey, you know,
I
but
think it's
that was just to
once.
see if you was on your toes. I really could have been there. I just wanted to see what you was going to do. Now I'm just
When he said once, it reminded me of that movie Johnny Dangerously. Anybody have y'all ever seen that movie?
oh
Johnny
yeah,
Dangerously.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once.
Yeah,
Once.
It was once. Yeah, so I mean, but you know, we there for each other. We hold each other down as much as we can, as best as we can. But I also want to shout out my brother because last week I watched the show back. I tell you I watched these shows back and I was like, what? I didn't for some reason how I did my thing last week and I did not mention my brother Jose at the end of the show. So shout out to my brother Jose
all
on
the
the
time.
ones and twos,
Jose.
holding us
Yes.
down as always, my brother. I
Always.
appreciate you. Okay. So I've just uploaded it right now to the drive. So if you can, I guess you can kind of let me know when it's good to go, and you can just put that up so we could show some love there with that. There we go. But yeah, man. Once again, just thank you guys, and let's not forget throughout everything that's happening. You know, there's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel, man. We getting healthy, we getting better, and it's happening quickly. No pun intended. I want to know how he's doing right now. You know, I hear RJ's going up and down with his health again. You know,
RJ Barrett's
I
playing
mean-
point guard tonight.
Is he?
Oh, boy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Quickly is out. They don't have a point guard on the floor, and RJ has 9 assists tonight so far through 3 quarters.
Wow.
Good for him.
I mean, yeah, listen,
Yeah.
look, like we always said, the NBA is full of talented players, and teams and rosters are full of them. But when you're in a
Or
situation
Bruce
where you
Brown.
got guys, or Bruce, yeah. But when you got guys that are ahead of them in the pecking order, sometimes you just can't. You don't have enough opportunity for that talent to show. So sending them somewhere else where they can get that opportunity is what's best for them. And shout out to all of our former Knick players. Once a Knick, always a Knick. But let me see. I think I put it in the wrong spot. Let me add it here again. Sorry. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Maybe I put it in the wrong spot. So it's there now. There it is. Yeah, I put it somewhere else, Jose. I'm trying to be quick about it. And Jose called me out. Like, you didn't put it where you said you was going to put it, Ron.
Yeah. No. He
Like, my bad.
he called you out in your headset. We didn't hear it.
I know. I get it. I'm keeping it real. You know, y'all my people. Y'all can know this is behind the scenes. We live. This is how it works.
Yeah.
You won't see this on BSPN. You know what I mean? All right. You get the real here.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Nice.
there we go. So and that's what I wanted to shout out. Thank you for buying us a cup of coffee. Diva Locks from the 2 Knicks chicks bought us a cup of coffee. So I wanted to show you some
Appreciate
love.
that.
Thank you for doing that. Appreciate you. And it was dope to see Miss Diva Locks again. Yeah, we actually got to see Miss Diva Locks and her daughter, Lady and the Chef, at Legends for the pregame. And I think that we were sitting at different spots, so I think they attended the game as well.
Yeah, they did.
But I didn't.
They were on my
Yeah,
side.
okay.
Is that the official? Is that the official Nothing But Knicks hangout spot pregame?
The Legends, yeah.
Legends is the spot, man. They hold us down over there. So yeah.
Okay.
Where Legends were made.
All right, guys. Wait. Jose's back.
There's more.
Hey, listen.
But wait, there's more.
I just need to clarify because I don't want people thinking. I love the picture, right? I know I'm the unknown man. But we need to clarify something, all right? I am not that tall, all right? So we need to adjust that picture and put the original one with my height being shown between these two giants. I'm a short guy, all right? We need to clarify that.
See,
If
but
I
you know,
ever show
Jose,
up to
that
an event, if I ever have the opportunity to go to an event, I don't want people looking up when they're supposed to be looking down. I'm just saying.
yeah, but see, that's the thing, Jose, where you may not be tall in height and stature. You are tall in your greatness of who you are, brother. You are standing with the giants right now. You're above us, brother. Hey.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. He wants you to keep spitting that.
Appreciate you, Jose. All right, guys. So this is, we had a great time with y'all. Thank y'all, everybody.
This is sexy
yeah,
time
it's late.
now.
It's late.
Here we
People's
go.
bedtime. You know what I mean? Look at John, man. He got to put it down. Put his loafers on.
Falling asleep, man.
Man, I gotta put toothpicks in my eyelids, man. Keep my eyelids open here.
Shout out to everybody once again. Thank y'all for being here. Smash that like button on your way out if you haven't already done so. Shout out to Organic Fanatics Show. Appreciate you, my guy Ro. Appreciate you. Jet Life for Life is in the building as well. Kerry Cox, we see you once again. Thank you to my brother John. Thank you to my brother Jose. And shout out to the
Freezie.
one and only Uncle Freezie. We out of here, baby.
Freedom over fame. Freedom over cycle stays the same.